Hi, my name's No Shit. Someone goes name me a shop on Spurs Video Podcast. Um, Obviously, it wasn't a great result against QPR, and now we've had Charlie coming out and he's talking about the lack of rotation. I think it's unusual because you don't get players on loan saying that. I don't know, maybe he's been misquoted. I don't know, but you've got Harry defending as I never saw people players like Dave Mackay or Martin Peters. Everything had been rotated. Well, no offense to those great players, and they are two of our greatest players. The eras are different. Physically, the Premier League is probably the level of athleticism in the Premier League is incredible. I honestly do believe that football has evolved, and the demands on players just physically but mentally. You know, and but yeah, if the players are feeling tired, there is something about us. Is Rooney's not rotated. Cole plays loads of games. Well, yeah, Cole's one player. Cole's an incredible athlete, but he's one player. If your core players, and I think that our core players are our midfield, without doubt, our midfield and their ability to be creative and score goals. Because we are about attacking, and if they're not on fire, if they've been being rotated and made to keep fresh, we are going to struggle. Players like Drogba haven't played all season. They've been in and out. Obviously now Drogba's now really leading the line because obviously for their final push. Players like Lampard. Lampard is famously dropped by Villas-Boas. One of the guys, Harry's best mate or something, that's his name on Spurs Forum, said, look, if he rotates him, do you know what I mean? We'll be up and down saying, why are you dropping Luka Modric? Why are you dropping Gareth Bale? It is courageous. Such courage did get Villas-Boas sacked, but you have to be. Sometimes you have to be willing to take a risk. Hopefully, if I don't know, Pedersen gets a free kick, the sun won't be in his eye, it won't be in Brad Friedel's eyes, or whatever, because it's a bloody awful, miserable day in London. But hopefully, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping that we can get that win. We desperately need to. When I see Hoylett, I've never seen him play over 90 minutes. He's an interesting player. He's a player that obviously we'll be looking to sign, hopefully, on the Bosman, and I'm hoping that we can really, go out there and put on a show. I mean, we've really got to win these 4 games. Hopefully Wigan can do us a favour against Newcastle and help themselves. And if we can do all that, I think we can, get back on level terms and then really push on, and then it'll be an interesting race. I'm going to go with hopefully a 2-1 win to us. I think, Yakubu's a very dangerous player, Hoylett's a dangerous player, and I think those are the kind of players you have to be very, very wary about. But they can be defensively very, very shocking. There are moments, I think I saw one game when the guy just gave up. He made a mistake and was like, oh shit, and just rolled his eyes, didn't run back for it. So I think if we can hit them hard and fast early, rock them, get a goal, I think they'll collapse. I think it's a very delicate house of cards. And Garth Crooks was on the Spurs show, and he said, apology, if you want, I'll email you the link. He goes, football dressing room is such a delicate ecosystem, and slight change, it all falls apart. I remember George Foreman, when he lost the whatever title, he said, oh, the ropes are made slack, or my feet were too big, or the referee counted early. He goes, you know what, I didn't have the heart. He actually said that, I didn't have the heart. And he goes, you know what, I wanted any excuse, I was undefeated. And when you lose, it just rocks your world. It's like, how do you go through this? You've been undefeated, never been beaten, and suddenly it all collapses around you. And it's hard. I mean, to come back from adversity, some players can do it. I mean, I've seen fighters. I mean, anyone see the Frankie Edgar fights against Graham Leonard? That guy's come back from adversity not once but twice. It's incredible. I'm not asking, and all I'm saying is I think some of the Spurs players need to look at themselves and say, look, do we want to be in the Champions Leagues? I think some of the Spurs players are good enough to know that if they do get, if a player big enough offer comes to them, he might have to say yes, but he might say no. Say no, you stay here. He might do the Pyramid. You know what? He felt responsible, for not, because I remember that Steve Perryman interview. He goes, I felt responsible for getting Spurs getting relegated, so I felt responsibility to get them back up. I think some of the Spurs players need to look at themselves and get responsible, but not just them. You've got Harry, who, Harry is one of those. He's a survivor. Harry will always look after himself, and I think he's off to England. I think he's done here. At the end of the day, he was brought in to help us avoid getting relegation. The fact that the following season somehow miraculously we got Champions League is just incredible. And then in the third season, somehow miraculously we did alright in the Champions League, got to the quarterfinals. I mean, look, the Real Madrid game was a disaster. But let's face it, those diving, cheating bastards. I wasn't going to, touch me. Oh, I'm dying. If you watched the Real Madrid Bayern Munich game, you saw players rolling around in agony and injury. No one get the ball out because they knew that each other was dying. Each other was, was playing, playing possum. And I remember the Mwamba game, the Fabrice Mwamba. I was thinking, I'm glad that people did get the ball out because he was serious. They all ran out, and I just look at that and I just think, when you do your dying swan act, it reminds me of the boy that cried wolf. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a serious injury, I'm sure something like that will happen. There will be a tragedy, not because people think, because someone will say, oh, he's playing a dying swan. He actually is dying. I'm hoping that we can get 2-0. I'm hoping Addy's back. Cabral, I don't think they'll bring him back just yet. He's still, I think, a little bit away from match fitness, but I think hopefully we'll be back against Bolton. We need him. He's physical, and hopefully we'll get him. Obviously, we've lost Benny. He's injured, but he's played quite well. But he's obviously he's carried a knee injury, hurt his shoulder. He's been through the wars, and so hopefully we can do it, and hopefully we'll become a new Spurs. I'm going to give a shout out to someone who's never had a shout out, my mate Angela. She's doing a charity skydive for Cancer Research UK. So if you guys want to sponsor her, go to she's on my Facebook. If you ask me, I'll send you the link to her Just Giving page. She's doing a skydive. She's a mother of 2 beautiful kids, and she's doing a skydive, and she's petrified. So if you make a donation, I'm sure she'll make it a bit easier for her to jump out of an aeroplane. I always wish Arsene Wenger would do that without a parachute, but still, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, we can get the players we need. I wish my mate Peter, he's his beloved Bayern, got through to the Champions League final, and I'm hoping that they do they do fuck over, what's that thing? Chelsea. I thought over the 2 legs they were a much better team, and. Because whereas you thought like Chelsea, you didn't think Chelsea. I mean, apart from that heroic last stand, like Custer's last stand kind of thing, I didn't think they deserved to go through. That first leg they were terrible. They just got one chance, they took it, and that 10 men and to do what they did. You got to give them credit for that. But Bayern, I thought over the 2 legs were much better than Real Madrid, and Real Madrid just, I think they fought in the time. They thought it was ours. Barca's out. We can get this is ours. And I don't think they really wanted it as badly. Anyway, so shout outs goes to him. And as always, if you please give me your comments, your feedback. I appreciate it all. I'll give my shouts out to SpursForum.co.uk, SpursOdyssey.com, and Top Spurs. And I'm hoping we can get the victory. It'll be interesting. I think Danny Rose is someone that it's going to be interesting to see how he plays. He's been, last time, I think he's given the ball, he's not the most great defensive players. So, we're going to have to see if Parker really be able to put in, I don't know, a triple shift or something. But I'm hoping that if we can get our belief back, I think it's like that Torres thing. Honestly, sometimes we're afraid to miss, and we should, we're afraid that we are going to miss. And I think that mentality's got into our team. If we can get rid of that by getting a goal, and getting the rub of the green, it all starts going like that momentum, that domino effect. Anyway, as always, this was a great pleasure talking to you guys, and as always, come on you Spurs.